Hello and welcome to Frames TM. So I hope whoever is watching this video must have already subscribed to this channel. If not, please do subscribe to it.
Also, in the last episode, I actually missed introducing her properly. She's Tripti, my wife and partner. More a partner than a wife, I think. I don't know. Wife is like duty. Partner is just you're just doing things together, living life together. So she's Tripti, I'm Mainak, and you see the name is the channel name is Frames TM. It's not trademark. It's actually Tripti and Mainak. Today, I thought we should talk about. I thought I'm just going to share my excitement with Tripti on the new Plena, the 135 1.8, and there's a lot to talk about. However, I think Tripti Tripti has something to say about the word Plena.
Yeah, I mean, the first time when I heard this word, in Hindi there is a word called lena, which means to take. So I told him that plena hi lena, which means take plena only. So today we are going to actually think over whether we should plena hi lena or not.
Yeah, Lena can mean to take, to buy, to procure, all of those things. And it just rhymes beautifully with Plena Helena means only take the Plena. Because there are options right now. Suddenly the Z mount is filled with so many options. About around this time last year, I think a lot of people are crying, I don't have this lens, I don't have that lens, I don't have this body, I don't have that. Yes, the APS-C body is still not freshed out. We don't know what's going to happen there. But yes, we have seen a few lenses launched for APS-C. We have seen quite a few lenses launched when it comes to portraiture, the 85 1.2 to begin with. We have a great all-rounder lens in the Tamron 35 to 150. So there are just so many options suddenly for the Nikon mount. It's crazy. The 24 to 120 is a unique lens. It's a tremendous lens. The 180 to 600 for wildlife photographers, for beginners, for travelers, tremendous lens. So I think suddenly the lineup seems so well-rounded, and to have the Plena, the 135 1.8, and to know that there is going to be a 35 1.2 coming, there in somewhere in the lineup, and it's probably going to appear very soon. It's exciting, and it's also confusing because people will have limited budget. They'll have to choose between this or that. So that's the discussion, I guess. That's one discussion. The second discussion is that what is this thing? What is Plena? Why is it so special? Is it special? So I'm going to talk about that. Do you want to know why it's special?
Yes, I would like to know.
So I'll tell you.
So before we move into that, so by now all of us know that actually Plena, that's a new lens, and it's 135 1.8.
Yes.
Which was a suspense a few days back, but now we all know it's 135 1.8.
Yeah, but people are greedy, and some people are thinking, why don't Nikon launch a 135 1.4, 1.5, just something faster than 1.8 to make it unique. Nikon did make it unique, but it just in a bit in an unexpected way, and in a way that justifies having that large and shallow mount, the Z mount. So let me tell you what this thing is all about. Now, this 135 1.8, this Plena lens, no other brand can have a lens like that. So I'll tell you why. The reason is I don't have a camera with me right now, but let me bring a camera. So for example, this is a Z mount camera that I'm going to show you right now. This is a Z mount camera, right? Now you see the mouth. I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, you need to hide. Yeah. Come on now. Yeah. Can you see the mouth? Look at how large the mount is. It's crazy. Now let's compare it to the Sony body, for example. This is the Sony A7 IV. It's also a full frame camera, and similar size, same size sensor. But look at this. Look at this. This is not, the mount is not as large, right? It's sort of, there is not enough space around the sensor. And that's the point. There is not enough space around the sensor because the Z mount is wider. Is a big benefit for the Z lens makers. Because what it allows them to do is to ensure that the lens has a projection area. Area is when the light comes through this front of the lens and it comes out of the back of the lens. When it is projected on the sensor plane, how wide is that area? If this area is just as wide as the sensor, which is what most lenses are designed like, then you'll have the problems that lenses typically have around the corner. So around the corner, you'll not get perfect bokeh. You'll see the bokeh balls have a cat-sized shape. They'll not be round. They'll be like this, elliptical. They'll not be round. You'll see vignetting at the corners and sides of the sensor. You'll also see lack of sharpness around the edge. So when most lens testers test, you'll see them going to the corners and checking, is it sharp at the edge? It doesn't need to be at the edge. See, the quality of the image output starts deteriorating as you move away from the center and towards any side, towards any edge on the sensor, which means the best quality is restricted to the middle of the sensor, which is why a lot of people say that, if you use a very high quality full frame lens on an APS-C or crop sensor camera, you're getting the best of that lens because it's a smaller sensor which basically captures light from the middle of the lens, not the sides. Now, that's a big reason why the planar is special, and Nikon could make it because of the mount. So the lens projection area is larger. Essentially, it means if there was a larger sensor than a full frame sensor inside any of these Z-mount cameras, this lens can take that. This lens can potentially be used on a larger sensor. No wonder a lot of people actually have been thinking whether Nikon will do a larger than full frame sensor for the Z mount. Well, that's a conversation for a different day. I don't think that's happening. But this is what doing fantastic full frame is what the Z mount allows Nikon to do. Now, let me tell you, I have the 85 1.2 with me right now. Okay, and we love this lens. This is a tremendous lens. Now, this lens, which sits at the top of the list on DxOMark, which is a lens testing agency, and they sort of test lenses and they kind of rank them. This is at the top of the rank, this lens. And the planar is supposed to be better than this. Okay, but the planar is cheaper than this by about, I think, $250. The planar is also lighter than this, by about 150 grams. Okay, and I know this lens balances so beautifully the Z8. I have no complaint with the weight of this lens. Very beautifully balanced. The planar is going to be balanced, amazingly well. I saw Matt Irwin in his review early, like first impression video on the 135 1.8. There was a moment when he was just holding the Z8 and the planar, and he was so delighted just to look at the balance of the lens, right? So it's a very, very well-made lens. The way Nikon looks at weight and balance when designing these products is amazing, because then ultimately people will have to just take it out and keep using it in real-world conditions. Usability matters a lot, and that's, I think, what Nikon has sort of have done very well. Now, one thing I must acknowledge, that all these things, the glory of the planar is, to me, most of it is claims right now, because I haven't seen much in-depth hands-on reviews of this lens. I think those are yet to come. I don't think Nikon has actually allowed anyone to share detailed pictures or allowed any influencer to actually pixel peep and zoom into the images. I think that's going to happen in the next 2 weeks or so, and I'm trying to get my hands on the planar very soon. Let's see, and if so, if I get it, you'll probably see an early review of this lens in the next 10 to 15 days, and I'll do a pretty sort of comprehensive review on this lens as well. I'll do a first impressions first and then a comprehensive review. Yeah, so that's the overall idea of the planar, and so I am very excited. I'm very excited, and I'm looking forward to it. It's just that I'm in a fix, and like everyone else, I have a limited budget right now, and there are so many options in the Nikon mount right now. I don't know what to do. now that I have a 135 on the Sony mount, third party 135, but mind you, now that I have a 35 1.4 Tamron 35 1.4 for the Z mount, as in adapted, works quite well, as you can see. Should I go for the 135 1.8? Now that I have an XT5 and a Z8, should I go for the ZF or the 135 1.8 planar or the 35 1.2, which is going to come? Because I think, in a way, these are repeats. Not like I have nothing like a ZF, nothing like a 135 planar, nothing like a 35 1.2. But then it's so difficult to resist. And to have it on my own mount is my primary mount, Z mount. What do you suggest?
I suggest that you hold on to whatever you have for now.
Well, that's a dampener. But see, I mean, I think that's what happened when realism and practicality hits you. But I think nothing should stop us from being excited.
Of course.
About
Of
what's
course.
being offered.
Of course. The choice of buying is something that you do with your hard-earned money. So, of course, the decision that you take has to be the right one. Of course, at times you do make mistakes, but it's very important to think over again and again before you take the final decision of buying either a camera or a lens.
You know, the funny thing, I have never felt I made any mistake when it comes to a Z mount. I feel like all my purchase on the Z mount has been spot on. All of them. It's just that I think I have duplication of the 85 1.8 and on 85 1.2, because most of the time when I need an 85, I probably go for the 1.2. But there are those odd occasions when the 1.8 is what you need. So even that duplication makes sense. So I just recently shot this thing with a ZF and I used 85 1.8. I didn't want to use 85 1.2 because I wanted to be a bit more mobile. Yeah. Okay, I think
That's all that we have for today.
Yeah.
So
Let me know if you like this kind of conversational video. I mean, this is not scripted at all. We just have... We didn't even discuss, honestly, before coming in front of the camera. We just said, okay, let's just talk over the planner.
So that's all we have for today. Do stay tuned for more such interesting content. And if you have not yet subscribed, which I hope you must have, but in case if you have not, please do.
Yeah, that really motivates us and convinces me to ask her to come on the show more often. So I thought if I have to just share opinions and just do these talking head videos, I better just call her in. And for the other videos, I'm going to continue to give you more detailed, analysis and other stuff for reviews and stuff. So we are going to see you soon with another one.
Till then, goodbye. Take care.